worst year for Vietnam. Economic slowdown, dip of 16.8% in the amount of deals, dropped dramatically. The Vietnamese government is trying its effort. This is the world's largest, extremely hard inflation, and that is my personal perspective. It's been a year where every step forward in Vietnam's economy has been met with a challenge, where recovery seems so close but yet so far away. With investments trickling in the backdrop of caution, Vietnam is at a crossroads, its vibrant pulse of progress tempered by the economic global slowdown. So as storefronts struggle and industries brace for change, we peer into the crystal ball of Vietnam's future. So in today's video, we will talk about what lies ahead for Vietnam and also what you can anticipate. Which companies or industries will ride the tide and which ones will not. Also, we will talk about the changes in policies and the law. That is Vietnam Outlook 2024. Let's get started. So hello, my name is Ken Duong, international business immigration attorney with over 15 years of experience helping foreign companies come and invest into Vietnam, live, retire, and buy real properties. And thus, we want to give you a lot of information of what we're going to think Vietnam will be like in the next year. So all we're doing is asking you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because now it's over 80% of you that are not subscribed to our channel, which is telling YouTube's algorithm that you're not interested in the video. But a lot of you watch it, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 viewers. So therefore, all we're asking is you take 2 seconds of your time, click on the subscribe button so that we can get up to 50,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, and we'll continue with the topic. To see what to expect in 2024, let's rewind a little bit to what happened in 2023. There was a global economic slowdown, but Vietnam in 2023 still grew by 5.05% GDP, which was a little bit lower by 0.03% of 2022. The total GDP growing to $430 billion, with GDP per capita at $4,284, was an increase of $160 per person. So in 2023, Vietnam's foreign direct investment attracted $36.6 billion, which is just slightly lower than the $38.02 billion of 2019, which was $38.02 billion. This shows that the foreign direct investment into Vietnam, especially from the big players like Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, and Singapore, continues to flow into Vietnam at this time. Export turnovers show signs of improvement, with $355.5 billion of export, which was slightly low compared to 2022. However, it still showed a growth of 5.1%. So now let's dive deep into the FDI. Which leading sectors made the headlines in 2023? Number one, processing and manufacturing, as Vietnam doubles down in the manufacturing export capacity in order to stimulate the economy. This accounted for 72.71% of the total FDI of Vietnam. Number two, the real estate market took a really hard hit in 2023, and it accounted for the closure of 1,300 real estate related firms, which was an increase in the closure rate of 8% year on year. Other sectors such as banking, finance, wholesale, and retail saw some action, but not nearly as much. Now looking at mergers and acquisitions, even though there was a dip of 16.8% in the amount of deals, Vietnam still came out on top because its political stability and growing consumer demand. Key players such as Japan, United States, and Singapore continue to invest into technology, healthcare, energy, and the retail sector. So for those looking to invest into Vietnam, the visa policies have also made good changes as well. In 2023, Vietnam changed its policies for the e-visa to increase from 30 to 90 days multiple entries and no country restrictions. Also, the visa exemption period increased to 45 days and extended to 13 countries that do not have to apply compared to other countries in the region. Vietnam has 25 visa-free countries as compared to Malaysia and Singapore with 162 countries, Philippines with 157, Japan 68, South Korea 66, and Thailand with 64. On the front of international relations and agreements, Vietnam came out on top. In 2023, there were many high-level visits from the United States and China that consummated into various benefits for Vietnam. Also, agreements that were signed in the past with the European nations are starting to bear fruit as well. But let's delve deeply into what the benefits that Vietnam received from these particular agreements. With the UK's accession to the CPTPP since December 30th of 2018, Vietnam's membership in the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is the CPTPP, Vietnam has been able to deepen its roots into the global supply chain and also increase its export markets to countries in the Pacific Rim, including Canada, Mexico, Peru, and many other countries. Number 2, the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement, or the EVIPA. While the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement was signed in 2020, the EVIPA is still under ratification by all the EU member states. Number 3, the US-Vietnam Comprehensive Partnership Agreement, which yielded many economic benefits, but also in different sectors such as education, technology, and security as well. If you want to know more about that video, click on the right-hand corner as we detail very closely what the benefits and potential burdens of that particular agreement between the US and Vietnam. And number 4, last but not least, China and Vietnam relations. China and Vietnam signed 36 agreements last year, going anywhere from patrolling and military joint efforts to education and also infrastructure development, including a railway from China to Vietnam. If you want more details on those 36 agreements, you can click on the right-hand corner to watch our detailed video encompassing what that agreement entails and what the burdens and benefits as well. Focusing on the real estate sector, it might have been the worst year for real estate development because there were foreclosures, frauds, and also jail time for many of the large conglomerates. Prices of real estate dropped dramatically, some places even 92%, and the rent will continue to rise. So with that backdrop, 2023 may have been the worst year for Vietnam. But we made numerous videos as well, so you can click on an entire playlist on the real estate market, including about Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan, Mr. Trần Văn Quyết, and many of the real estate conglomerates that did not do so well in 2023. So let's forecast to 2024. We did a recap of 2023. Let's see what institutions are saying about 2024. Standard Chartered Bank is putting the prediction at 6.7% GDP growth, while the Asian Development Bank is guessing at 6% GDP growth. Nevertheless, that is faster than China. Both of these institutions are also looking at the global situation, especially inflation in the United States and the EU, having a dramatic effect on Vietnam's economy. Transitioning to interest rates, Bloomberg predicted, and correctly, that the State Bank of Vietnam will keep the interest rate at 4.5%, and this year that the rate will go down to 3.5%, which is juggling between economic growth and also trying to keep inflation down. The 4.5% is the cap for Vietnam. Thus, we see that the Vietnamese government is trying its efforts and its hardest in order to maintain Vietnam's 6% growth for 2024. Forecasts are indicating that Vietnam's economy will grow by 6.3% in the first quarter and 6.5% in the second quarter. So let's see which industries will be leading in this charge. Number 1, manufacturing export. Vietnam continues to be a hotspot for manufacturing of clothing, electronics, shoes, garments, and other sectors due to its low cost of labor and low cost of raw materials. This emphasis by the government on the high-tech sector and value-added industries will continue to show the emphasis of FDI into Vietnam. In fact, in 2024, PepsiCo invested $400 million into 2 manufacturing facilities in Long An and the other in Hà Nam. Number 2, renewable energy. With the world turning towards renewable or green energy, Vietnam is also poised to go in that direction. Vietnam set its goal in green energy to have 20% of all its energy produced by 2030 from renewable energy and a whopping 85% in 2050. For example, a South Korean conglomerate, SK Group, plans to do a clean energy project in Vietnam by using natural gas to produce green hydrogen. Number 3, information technology and the digital economy. Vietnam's technology and innovation economy continues to grow in software, services, services, and other related areas. In fact, the CEO of NVIDIA plans to open its first manufacturing facility in Vietnam after his visit to Vietnam last year. Number 4, infrastructure development. Vietnam will continue its growth through infrastructure development, especially transportation networks, urban development, and utilities. Many of these and other opportunities for public-private partnership models will continue to grow infrastructure projects in Vietnam. The prime example is a Long Thanh International Airport, which will replace Ho Chi Minh Tan Son Nhut International Airport and will be completed in 2025. Number 5, real estate market. According to Statista, Vietnam's real estate market will increase to $4.41 trillion in valuation, which surpasses Thailand of only $2.51 trillion. For industrial and swanky offices, but also very high-end residential projects as well. For example, the Grand Marina Saigon project, situated on 10 hectares right along the Saigon River in District 1. This is the world's largest Marriott-branded residential project, where you can see both the Marriott and the JW Marriott brands attached to it. It will be the most expensive and the most high caliber and quality project in all of Ho Chi Minh City. Taking a glance of some of the new laws for 2024 that will impact Vietnam. The biggest one that we see is the new change to the residential ownership laws for Vietnamese overseas who are looking to buy into Vietnam. There will be tremendous changes that will allow Vietnamese overseas to buy properties and even land similar to a local Vietnamese as well. So we've helped many in the past before, so definitely book your 1-hour consultation with our team of experts, including understanding what is our real estate due diligence package. Another big change that I know you're all waiting for is the retirement visa. As instructed by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính to the immigration authorities to look into and come up with a retirement visa for Vietnam. So as you get more information about that, we'll definitely give you the updates as well. So you got the company's perspective and forecast. I like to give you my own personal forecast as well. Having lived here in Vietnam for 10 years since 2013, I am still optimistic about the opportunities because the foundations have been laid for the last few years, especially during the pandemic. In the infrastructure, you can get around more easily, you can travel more freely. 2 is the technology behind all the businesses that you can do in Vietnam. And number 3, Vietnam is working extremely hard to improve its regulations, especially in finance and securities, improving the infrastructure, and laying the technological foundation for many of you to come and do business here in Vietnam. Like I said, after 10 years, myself, many of our other investors, our clients, and others who have been living here continue to be optimistic about the future of Vietnam. So I see a really bright 2024. And definitely want to see you again in our Vietnam Outlook to look back at 2024 and see what 2025 is like. And that is my personal perspective, optimism, effort, perseverance, and hopefully success in the future. So thank you very much for watching this video on the Vietnam Outlook 2024. Let us know in the comment below what you think about this video. But as always, on behalf of Duong Global, make sure that you like our Facebook page, all of our social media, including Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel because we definitely need your support, and click on the bell for notifications. So on behalf of Duong Global, my name is Ken Duong. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.